From WJTV studios in Jackson and across the state of Mississippi.
Parents and students at Hazelhurst Middle School were in fear today. Why some of those parents say they still want more answers.
Protocols in question. Is Mississippi really prepared for an Ebola patient? We're getting you answers.
And 2 teens are remembered following a deadly crash in Brookhaven.
Streaming online 24 hours a day. This is WJTV News Channel 12 at 6.
Breaking news out of Jackson right now. Officials tell us 3 children were hit by a car on Sykes Road. Jackson Police and AMR are on the scene. We have a crew on the way to the scene, and we're working to get you answers on who was involved and if there are any injuries. Thanks for joining us at 6. Some concerned parents want answers after a middle school principal returns from Africa in the midst of a public health crisis.
We have confirmed through School Superintendent John Sullivan that Dr. Lee Wannick did return Saturday from a trip to Africa, and we're told that Dr. Wannick is from Zambia and went home to his brother's funeral. While Zambia is closer to 3,000 miles or 5 hours by plane away from Liberia, one of the hardest hit Ebola areas. News Channel 12's Terrence Friday went to work to get you answers and joins us now live with more. Terrence.
This school administration building here in Hazelhurst. In fact, if you look over my shoulder, you can see quite a few of those parents still standing outside. They were here for that meeting as the superintendent addressed the issues concerning Principal Lee Wannick. While he assured the room that Dr. Wannick is of no threat concerning Ebola, the parents say that they still wish that they could have been in the loop about what happened.
I understand that they want to respect the right and the privacy of his, of his family. But we also, as parents and community people here, would like to know things that's going on too, because this is not just dealing with his side of the family, it's dealing with our family too.
If you've been following us today, you'll know that we've reported that the principal did travel to Africa, but unlike some other media outlets reported, he did not go to Nigeria. He was in Zambia for a funeral. Some of the parents here say that they're still uncomfortable, though, and they don't plan on sending their kids back to school. They want some kind of documentation showing that the doctor is okay. We've got more coming up for you on this developing story on WJTV News at 10. For now, I'm Terrence Friday live in Hazelhurst. Back to you.
And with that scare in Hazelhurst and protocols in question after another Dallas healthcare worker contracts Ebola, Mississippi health officials say that they are prepared.
News Channel 12's Mallory Pullen is getting you answers on how the state is preparing for a possible Ebola patient in our Eye on Ebola team coverage. Mallory?
Yes, Melanie and Byron, isolating, identifying, and treating, all 3 protocols that have to be used by Mississippi hospitals just to identify an Ebola patient, and that's according to state epidemiologist Dr. Thomas Dobbs. Now, yesterday, 11,000 nurses from around the country took part in a conference call. The nurses who talked to National Nurses United said Ebola guidelines for the healthcare workers at the Dallas hospital were constantly changing, but Dr. Dobbs says Mississippi hospitals are prepared.
The key for us is going to be early identification and isolation, because then we can pull into effect the different mechanisms we have to get somebody into treatment.
State epidemiologist Dr. Thomas Dobbs says the key words for diagnosing Ebola: Sierra Leone, Liberia, or Guinea, the 3 countries where Ebola continues to spread. Dobbs says identifying travel history is crucial.
Because someone could walk into an emergency room anyway. It's that early piece that we really need to get prepared for.
Preparation is what all hospitals are doing. Dobbs says some are more prepared to isolate and treat a patient more than others.
CDC probably is going to be adjusting the recommendations about where to treat people who are confirmed Ebola.
But when someone arrives to an ER with symptoms, Dobbs says preparation is key.
You have someone monitoring you at every step along the way. You have a dedicated team of individuals who are highly trained.
The state epidemiologist says hospitals will limit the amount of caregivers who enter the infected patient's room.
With full body covering that would not leave skin surfaces exposed, and something that people can do reasonably without self-contaminating themselves.
And again, Dr. Dobbs says those who have traveled to those 3 African countries, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea, are at the highest risk of contracting Ebola. And News Channel 12 will continue to stay on top of the Ebola outbreak. Always check us out on WJTV.com, our Facebook, and Twitter. Live in Jackson, Mallory Pullen, WJTV News Channel 12.
All right, thank you, Mallory. And as Mallory mentioned, nurses groups are speaking out, saying that their hospitals and staff are not prepared to handle Ebola patients. They have sent a letter asking President Obama to use his executive authority and mandate uniform hospital standards. Well, they are demanding more protection and hands-on training after 2 healthcare workers caring for Ebola patient Thomas Duncan got the virus. The American Nurses Association also says that information needs to be shared more quickly so that the right protocols are in place.
What we heard from the nurses yesterday was truly heartbreaking and outrageous and totally preventable.
Nurses from Spain, where a nurse contracted the disease, also participated in the call. The president plans to meet with cabinet members at the White House to talk about the growing crisis and the government's response to Ebola.
Now to an update about a potential Ebola case in Alabama. The patient does not have Ebola. Calming words in regards to the Alabama woman who gave the Deep South the scare when she showed up at a Mobile hospital with symptoms of the deadly virus.
We had one of our emergency room physicians and one of our nursing staff go in and do a physical exam, question the patient following the CDC guidelines that are imperative in this process.
Hospital officials say the woman was treated after she showed up there Tuesday night with a fever. Reports say the woman has family members who had recently been to Africa. Hospital staff took every precaution just in case. Turns out she did not meet the CDC guidelines for the virus. We'll continue to follow this ripple effect and get you answers on all your concerns in live updates on WJTV.com. Log on to our website or social media pages to follow the latest updates. Scott Pelley will also provide a more in-depth look in the coming days. Now a look at first weather with Storm Team meteorologist Brad Mousehart.
Well, weather-wise out there today, again, our second straight day of sunny skies. The good news is the streak looks like it's going to continue for a while thanks to high pressure building in from the north and west. It's going to continue to push our way, taking us from the cool temperatures we're going to see through the day today. Tomorrow morning, back to warmer temperatures as we start to head back towards the weekend. The good news is, like I said, no rain in the forecast anytime soon. Time lapse from today. Again, a gorgeous sunset getting ready to happen here over the next hour or so. Winds are starting to calm down just a little bit as well. Still 10-mile-per-hour sustained winds up in Greenville. 8-mile-per-hour winds in Jackson. In terms of the wind gusts, those have all but gone away. They were up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour earlier. So again, things starting to calm down this evening. We're going to cool down quick, all the way down to about 46 degrees by early tomorrow morning. So you're heading off to work or school, you're definitely going to need that jacket. But by tomorrow afternoon, you're not going to need anything. Maybe even get away with shorts. About 78 degrees under mostly sunny skies. A couple clouds here and there as we head back towards the weekend. But like I said, both high school, college football going to be in good shape in terms of the weather. I'll let you know if we'll see another chance of rain in that 8-day forecast coming up.
For weather on the go, download our free Storm Team 12 weather app. You can find it in the App Store. Now let's take a quick look at our traffic using our traffic tracker. Right now you're looking live at I-55 south of the Stack. There appears to be no incident reports at all and traffic is moving smoothly.
Students are remembering 2 classmates who lost last night in a deadly crash in Brookhaven. Now a man is behind bars charged in their deaths. Authorities confirmed to us that it happened last night right around 10 o'clock on Union Street. News Channel 12's Beth Alexander has the story.
They were hilarious. They were so funny. Always in a good mood, always laughing. It's just really, really good athletes.
Summer Munn will graduate from Brookhaven High School in May. She would have graduated with 18-year-old Shaquan Richardson and 18-year-old Devontae Dickey. But Tuesday night around 10 o'clock, authorities say the Brookhaven High School football players were leaving a softball game when their pickup truck was hit. Both were killed.
I'm very sad. I feel like I lost everything. I don't really know what to do.
And those guys, they were the guys that kept things lighthearted, always had a smile on their face.
Football coach Tommy Clopton opened up about the loss.
Shaquan and Javonte they're those guys that they would be upset today if this was someone else, but they would have a smile on their face remembering the good times.
Brookhaven Police Chief Bobby Bell says Devontae and Shaquan were in a Ford F-150 when they were hit head-on by 18-year-old Charles Acey. He's charged with vehicular homicide, driving with a suspended license, and having no proof of insurance. Police are waiting on drug and alcohol tests to come back on Acey. In the meantime, Clopton says the team will move forward.
and it's our responsibility to move forward and remember them and carry them with us in the days ahead. And each day represents a new challenge, and we'll move forward daily.
In Lincoln County, Beth Alexander, News Channel 12.
At last check, AC was being held without bond in the Lincoln County Jail. The counselors are in the area and ministers were available today to talk to the students about the loss.
A woman is dead and a student is recovering in the hospital after a bad car accident last night near the campus of Alcorn State. Officials with the Highway Patrol tell us that 20-year-old Rakisa Lee was pronounced dead at the scene of the crash, which was right outside of the gate of the university. She was the passenger in the car driven by a student, 26-year-old Akil Abdurrahman. Officials tell us the crash was a result of a high-speed chase between them and campus police. Aberman was ejected from the car and had to be taken to the hospital. He is now listed in good condition. Now another look at weather with Brad Mousehart.
Well, like I said, we are in day number 2 of that sunny streak. I'll let you know just how long that streak will last, and I'll let you know what the temperature is going to do. A little bit of up, a little bit of down, all in the 8-day forecast coming up just after the break. Stay with us.
And now, your Storm Team 12 forecast with meteorologist Brad Mousehart.
Well, 12 minutes after 6 on the dot on your Wednesday evening. A pretty nice day out there, to say the least. Really, actually ideal with all the sunshine. Cooler temperatures as well. 64 stretching from Kosciuszko back down towards Raleigh. 66 this evening in Monticello. And the warm spots, 67 in Macomb, 68 right now down in Natchez. And as we head throughout the next 12 hours, those temperatures are going to pretty much plummet quickly as we start to head back towards early tomorrow morning. With those clear skies, there will be no clouds to help to hold in some of that heat. So, again, temperatures you can expect to dip into the upper 40s, if not the mid to lower 40s in some spots early tomorrow morning. So make sure to bundle up as you head out the door to work or school bright and early, but by tomorrow afternoon there should be no worries. 73 degrees that we're looking at right now. Again, mostly sunny skies. Dew points very, very low. 38. That's pretty dry outside. You can see the humidity only at 28%. Those west winds are helping to drive down some of that cooler, drier air. And well, as we head throughout the day tomorrow, we're expected by tomorrow afternoon, again, those dew points going to be somewhere between about 40 and 45. So again, that puts us in the pleasant to comfortable range. Not going to have to worry about the humidity, at least not for the next couple of days or so. Live IMAX 12 again showing the perfectly clear skies out there, not picking up on any rain. And in fact, Live IMAX 12 is going to be pretty quiet the next week or so, because high pressure going to continue to build in from the west. As it does, it's going to knock off that cooler trend of temperatures and allow some warmer temperatures to sneak back as we start to head towards Friday and Saturday. However, a weak cold front is going to start to slide our way as we head throughout the day on Sunday. That'll increase the cloud cover just a little bit. It'll also drop our temperatures thanks to the cloud cover and a northerly breeze just a little bit on Sunday, but we're not going to see any rain. It's going to be a dry cold front. That's why I have it kind of almost halfway disappeared there. We're not going to see much in the way of anything for the cold front, minus those cloud cover and the cooler temperatures. Again, temperatures dipping back to about 76 on Sunday, then right back into the 80s as we work our way towards the beginning of next week. The good news is, though, like I said, the best news of all, no rain chances any of the 8 days in that 8-day forecast. So again, very dry. That sunshine streak looks like it's going to continue. Lorman, one of the homecoming games this weekend, that kicks off at 2 o'clock. 79 degrees, not too bad out there. Again, a cloud here or there. Not going to have to worry about the rain. That's the good news. That's definitely going to wear the sunglasses, though. 78 degrees by the time that game is over at 5. Again, just a cloud here or there, a little bit breezy at times, but that's about it. Ole Miss, number 3, hosting Tennessee for their homecoming game. 6 o'clock kickoff, 77 degrees. Again, a cloud here or there, not going to have to worry about anything except for the chill that will start to send its way back in as we work our way through the evening hours. So again, that game gets over right around 9 o'clock. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s, back into the 50s by the time they hit midnight or so. Man, it's a little patchy fog tomorrow morning. We're not going to be seeing much for the rest of this 8-day forecast. Like I said, pretty ideal for this time of the year. Temperatures getting a little bit warmer as we work our way, like I said, towards Friday and Saturday, back into the 80s. Another cool down on Sunday with some cloud cover. Before that, cold front starts to push back out, the high pressure building back in, and we'll see nothing but sunshine, like I said, for the duration of that 8-day forecast. Temperatures right around average. Average for this time of the year, 77 degrees. Will be a little bit above it or a little bit below it the entire 8-day forecast. So really, like I said, can't make any
lovely
better
weather.
than that. Nothing to
All
complain about.
Thank you very much. And the 8-day forecast, as you said, looks ideal for the month of October.
And keep it right here. News Channel 12 is back in about 2 minutes. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on the CW.
You're watching watching News Channel 12 at 6.
And welcome back. Today was the day mandatory flu shots were given to all 10,000 plus UMC employees.
It was voluntary last year, but only 60% of the employees got the flu shot.
Well, over the years, they've encouraged their students and employees to get a vaccine, but never had greater than 70% participation. Well, employees have until November 11th to get the vaccine, but there are 2 exceptions to getting the vaccine for religious or medical reasons. And now, let's get a first look at sports with Mike.
Thanks a lot, Byron. The top-ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs are back on the cover of one of the elusive weekly sports publications in the country. Try not to give it away here, and Southern Miss coach Todd Monken talks about how the success of MSU and Ole Miss this season may or may not impact recruiting for him and his staff. All that and more is next in sports.
You're watching News Channel 12 at 6.
Whether or not they're looking to take a break from the hype during their current bye week, the #1 ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs continue to be in the spotlight. MSU is again gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated. Although this is a regional cover, the magazine stated today that for the Bulldogs to go from unranked 5 weeks ago to #1 is a story that simply can't be ignored. In the meantime, Coach Dan Mullen is still trying to keep things in perspective.
Our focus right now is to be getting better this week and then worry about Kentucky. And that sounds like coach talk, but you know what? We haven't even guaranteed ourselves a winning record yet this season. So before we kind of get too far ahead out there, I'm proud of what we accomplished in the first half of the season, but that's certainly, we have a lot more goals that we wanted to accomplish coming into this season.
And the first of those goals is to try to knock off a red-hot Kentucky team the next time they take the field again, a week from this coming Saturday, which is here on News Channel 12. So, how will all this success by MSU and Ole Miss impact the other college football programs in the Magnolia State, namely one that's trying to rebuild down into Hub City? Southern Miss head coach Todd Monken was asked how having the undefeated Bulldogs and Rebels in the top 5 may affect his ability to recruit players to Southern Miss. The odd thing is the answer is twofold, as it could either hurt or actually benefit the Golden Eagles if they're able to attract players that the SEC programs don't have room to sign.
There's certain players that when Southern Miss was winning and winning conference championship that you would have gotten those guys. They wouldn't have felt like they could win a championship there. Well, they're getting better players they've ever gotten. And the SEC, just by a league, is getting good players. Now, conversely, is they're going to get better players now. They're going to put themselves in a market where maybe they weren't before.
In the meantime, Monken and his Golden Eagles are trying to prepare for a road trip to North Texas this Saturday as they're coming off their bye week. That's the game you can watch also right here on News Channel 12. That's beginning at 6 p.m.
Make some noise for the OT Player of the Week. Brought to you by Rick's Pro Truck.
Don't forget, you only have until tomorrow at noon if you want to have a say on who will be named our OT Player of the Week. These are our candidates: Pearl running back Jordan Wright, who rushed for 274 yards, Brandon quarterback Gardner Minshew, who threw for 370 yards, and Central Hines running back Brian King, who racked up 287 yards on the ground. Go to WJTV.com and click on Sports to vote. And on that note, our OT Spotlight Game of the Week this Friday is a Region 6 4A and a Highway 49 neighborhood showdown as 7-1 Florence visits up-and-coming Richland at 7 p.m.
I like that, the 49 Highway Showdown.
Hey, they're right next to each other.
I know they are.
It'll be a fun time in Richland on Friday.
Thank you very much.
All right, Brad.
Well, the weather is going to be great for that game on Friday. Speaking of that Spotlight Game of the Week, weather-wise, just a couple clouds out there. Temperatures right around 71 by kickoff. I'm petitioning a write-in campaign for the great 8-day forecast I came up with. Just in case you want to vote for me for the Player of the Week, I'll have details on what you expect for that 8-day forecast just after. Right.
You're watching News Channel 12 at 6.
Well, weather-wise, you wake up early tomorrow morning. Going to be a little bit chilly out there, so bundle up. 46 degrees by 7 a.m. But look at this 8-day forecast. It all pays off, Mike. I'm telling you, this is a MVP forecast right here if I've ever seen one. Just a little bit of patchy fog early tomorrow morning, then sunshine for the rest of that 8-day forecast. No rain for you guys when you go out to shoot these games on Friday. No rain on Saturday. No rain through the rest of next week either. So
vote now, Mike. Often.
We're not worthy.
Okay. That'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.